There's no Dan. Oh, look. Get over here! Hey, you like that?
That was very good.
Hey,
that was
thank
very
you.
good.
I've
Very
been
good.
practicing that.
Mate, that was awesome.
Because
we need to do more of those, That's obviously a reference to something.
It is.
I
Do
didn't
you
get
know
it.
what the reference
No,
is?
I don't.
Bullshit.
Get over here. No,
How do you not know the reference to that?
I've had a busy day.
Oh, my God. Just have a guess.
Get over here. Is it a movie or a game?
Both.
Oh, God.
It's an entire franchise.
Duke Nukem. This is my SMB moment, isn't it?
Hurts.
This is my SMB moment, isn't it?
I just know
I'm
that
going to know
listening to this and
yelling and
this
screaming.
are just hurting.
I have had
I'll give you one more guess.
Get over here. No, mental blank, man.
It's Mortal Kombat.
Well,
Mortal Kombat!
Okay.
What? I'm sorry, what's Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, well, I am one of the few gamers, Pete, who haven't played much of that game, to be honest with you. I know finish him. If you'd said finish him, I get that. But I'm not much of a fighter guy for a start.
No, that was a fatality. That was shocking.
So that's number one, and I won't apologise for that because I've never really been a massive fan of those kind of games.
I just want you to do one thing for me.
What's that?
And for the people listening or watching, and just say,
whoopsie. Whoopsie.
No, a bit higher.
Whoopsie.
Bit higher.
Whoopsie.
Bit higher.
I can't go higher than that. Whoopsie.
Grab your nuts, bit higher.
Whoop.
Oh, Jesus.
That's it.
Whoopsie.
Oh, God, listen to you.
Yeah, I know.
Your
It's up
falsetto
there.
is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Mine's terrible.
All
that cigar smoking.
Insane. That's from Mortal Kombat 2. By
Okay,
the way.
well, there you go.
And the other one was Toasty. That is.
Why are we
you'd
talk-
actually see the sound designer Dan Forden's face would
Oh,
pop
my
up
God,
on
listen
the
to
screen.
you. Nerd alert.
Like
That's from
like
me.
an Easter egg.
Why are we talking Mortal Kombat?
Because it's Mortal Kombat Day, baby.
Is it?
It is.
Ah.
We're going to get into the podcast, so we've got some stuff coming. But it is Mortal Kombat Day, and in fact, as this is playing out right now, if you are watching this right now, not listening to it on the podcast, so the podcast comes out on a Friday of every week, but watching this right now, as you guys sit there and watch this, I'm on my way to a cinema for the premiere of the new Mortal Kombat film.
So I'll watch that. I'll give that a watch.
Oh, mate.
Anything to do with gaming, I'll watch.
And just some early indications are positive from the things that I'm reading on Twitter today.
And this could be the first gaming movie you've ever seen. You haven't seen King of Kong. You haven't seen the South Park.
Well,
with
hang on.
the
I saw
gaming.
the original Mortal Kombat film.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you see the original Super Mario Brothers?
Yes, I did. Are you talking about the one with John Leguizamo,
Yeah.
Luigi?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the actor
It was,
who played Mario. He's dead now.
Bob Hoskins, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
well
yeah.
done. Jeez, you know that. Doesn't know bloody. Get over here. So, yes, very excited. However, we wanted to kick the podcast off with something very special tonight.
Yes.
I had the genuine pleasure of catching up with the Australian legend, that is Josh Lawson, a.k.a. Kano in the film. Take a look. Far out, Josh Lawson. It's so nice to speak with you, and thank you very much for your time. I had two thoughts when I was reading the initial casting for Mortal Kombat. I saw your name and I went, oh my God, Josh Lawson is playing Kano. And then I went, hang on a sec, Josh Lawson is playing Kano? The guy that I used to watch on things like Thank God You're Here and Have You Been Paying Attention? And it just absolutely blew my mind, mate. Where the hell did that come from?
Well, no one was more surprised than I was, believe me. I thought you were going to say your third question was going to be Josh Lawson. He's still working? I thought that guy we gave that guy enough chances.
No, look, mate, I think it's absolutely magnificent, but it must have been like a really interesting change of scenery for you, considering your back catalogue of work, mate. This seems so different.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, you want difference, what every actor, I think, prays for, right? But you just very rarely get it because you tend to do one thing and then you do that thing over and over and over again. And, and not many people have the courage, frankly, to give actors who haven't done a certain thing before the chance to do it for the first time. So really, thank God for Simon McCoy, who thought it would be a good idea. And I hope for his sake and mine and the fans that decision paid off.
Mate, I know you would have gone through some sort of routine or regime to get yourself absolutely jacked to play a character like Kano. I don't want to know about the routine. I want to know what your cheat meal day was.
Oh, yeah. Look, for me, pizza. That's it. That's like my desert island food, pizza. Doesn't matter. Crispy crust, nice, thin and crispy. Yeah, come on, now we're talking. Now we're to you sick son of a bitch. You feeling me? I can see you. You got me. But no pineapple on it. I'm not a complete psychopath, all right?
Oh, hang on a sec, mate. I'm quite partial to the pineapple. I'm
Get
quite
over
happy.
it.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go. I knew that was going to pop up at some point throughout this interview, but I'm glad it came from you and not me, because you're going to do a much better job of it, mate. Was it liberating playing the anti-hero, to a degree the villain?
For sure. Well, I mean, famously, they say the villains are the most fun characters to play because, you do get to, you get to be the bastard. There's fun in that, and they tend to be some of the more interesting characters. But yeah, you're right. Make no mistake about it. Kano is despicable, and he says and does horrible shit throughout the film. But hopefully, there's the way he does it. The hope is he's kind of a character you love to hate. But yeah, to answer that question simply, it was so much fun, and Simon gave me a lot of free rein to improv and to find his voice, and it was great.
There's, I suppose when it comes to me watching something like a romantic comedy, which you've done in the past, if I get a good laugh out of it and a bit of a lighthearted moment, I'm like, yep, that's fine, mate. This is an action flick that is off the back of one of the most revered gaming franchises in the history of the world, and the gaming community analyze every single detail. Have you got any expectations around that? What are you thinking they're going to say about the flick?
Oh man, I really honestly don't look at reviews or feed. I don't go down that rabbit hole because I'm too sensitive. It's just too much. But look, the hope is they like it. I'm sure people are going to not like it, and that's okay. But from early reactions to the trailer, it seemed like this was something fans were waiting for, and that was long overdue. And, it had been 25 years or something since the last film, since the first of the Mortal Kombat films back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I look, after a pretty horrible year that the world went through, I feel like this is not a bad film to get back into the movies and let Mortal Kombat take out all your frustrations from 2020 and against each other.
Perfect. And one final one, mate. It must just be fantastic to see this in our backyard. South Australia gets to have it, but an Australian flick nonetheless.
No question. Yeah, it's an Aussie film. There's no mistake about it. And, this was pre-COVID. And so now, as I'm sure you well know, the Americans are coming en masse to Australia, and they're snapping up the studio spaces for years and years. So this is really becoming, it's a great time to be in Australia, because there's just so much of Hollywood coming here, and it's only going to mean more work in every department. And there's no reason why Australia can't be, the beating heart of the film industry, as the evidence of which is this film, and hopefully more of that to come.
Couldn't agree more, mate. Well, thank God you're here. Thank God you're Kano, and what a pleasure chatting with you, John Lawson. Thanks for joining us on Game on Australia.
Oh, good, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Game on, it's gaming time. Excellent, game on, it's gaming time. Excellent.
What a legend,
mate.
What a legend.
Star power.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey?
That's GOA, though, isn't it?
Well, that's GOA, that's right.
We've had many stars over the years.
We have.
Very quick, though.
Well, see, this is the problem, isn't it? Like, I get why they only give everyone 6 minutes, but I would have thought they'd look at the itinerary and go, oh, hang on, gaming podcast, Game on Australia. Clearly heard of them. Clearly the best podcast in gaming in the world.
Yeah.
Let's give them 18 minutes.
And
3 times.
I don't know, like if you listening to this right now or watching this have seen any of the other interviews, because what happens is I got the invite to the interview. It was all locked away. And then it was on Zoom with the junket. And once upon a time before COVID, they'd fly you over.
It
was crazy. And I ended up in a room with, a few other people, including the publicist who was organising interviews.
Yeah.
And then they'd take you away to a separate room. And in that room were like 8 other different people on different screens. And there's Josh Lawson as well.
Yeah.
And I, being radio trained, I feel like our interview was the best.
Wow.
Not that I've seen others.
No, it's just bloody you, mate.
Because I was prepared. I knew 6 minutes. What do I want to get out of this guy? Bang, 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 bang. And
are you saying that you were the puppet master and he was the puppet and you're like just, leading him?
I was playing with those strings.
Yeah, baby.
No, it was a great chat with him. I really appreciate it. Could just wish it was longer. But
not the first time you've heard that. Hey, that's right. Dick Jack, guys.
So yes, but thank you, Josh, for your time, and how wonderful, and I'm so excited to see Mortal Kombat. Oh my God, I cannot wait.
Well, it's been an underlying theme throughout pretty much every episode we talk about it at some stage, how, gaming leads to great storytelling and vice versa. So there's got to be more of this melding of cinema and gaming, because there's so many games that could do with a great movie.
Yeah, but there's so many games that have tried, or rather, I'm going to say cinema has tried to port across franchises from games and have generally done a shit job of it. And the reason being is because they're not true to the canon.
I will never, it's sort of gaming related, I'll never forgive the people that made Masters of the Universe movie, He-Man.
I've never seen it.
Oh my, it is terrible.
Is it?
It is.
Is it as bad as the...
It's terrible.
I think it was 70s. I'm not entirely sure. But the 1970s... In fact, I've got Google in front of me, so I'm just going to quickly check it. But the Star Wars Christmas special...
Oh, you know what? I saw that on TV. This is how old I am. I actually saw that on TV.
Did you?
And I loved it. There's the bit where they land on... I'm pretty sure it's Endor. With the
Ewoks?
With the Millennium Falcon. And I was like, oh my God, this is... Bonus content. Bonus content.
1978 it was. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. 2 out of 10 on IMDb. TV.com's giving it a 5.
It's probably lucky they did it. Well, not lucky. They released it at the time they released it, because if they released it in this day and age, it would have been shit canned all over social media.
Yeah.
The franchise might have died.
Yeah, no, you're very right.
What about, I was thinking then, speaking of gaming movies, what about Pong? A gaming movie, a movie about Pong.
Mate, I just
2
don't
bricks,
know.
a ball.
I just don't know, what you could really bring to it. Like, what story are you getting out of Pong? Really? Like, what story are you actually getting out of Pong?
Well,
if
not
we were to
much.
sit here and go, we need to create a plot for Pong, where are we going with it? It is literally 2 bricks and a ball. Maybe the 2 bricks and the ball become sentient and they escape the game. And then they have to...
Maybe the story is what happens to the ball when it goes past the screen.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Yes. That's right.
And then, because obviously you've got to have your... your peak moment, and then you've got to have your find your way home moment, don't you? Your moment that ties it all together. So, the
Who's the bad guy? Is it the right brick or the left brick?
I don't know. That's a great idea.
Or is the ball the bad guy?
Or is it... Or is it the constant power struggle of good versus evil? And the ball represents the power struggle, and the left side is evil, always trying to knock it out, and the right side is good, and they're always trying to keep it in, and they're constantly locked in this power struggle.
Guys, it's writing itself.
Oh, this is
it's
good.
writing
This is
itself.
writing
I mean,
itself.
come on, guys.
Wow, this is amazing. Where were we again? Oh, that's
I don't know.
right.
We're looking up something.
God, we haven't even done introductions.
No, we haven't.
My name's Pete.
My name's Dan Internet.
And for the last
20
15 20 minutes, we've been banging on about games because we bloody love gaming.
And Pete, what else do we bloody love?
Bloody gaming, Dan.
We'll just go straight to it.
Yeah,
bloody
it's a big
gaming.
day today. You're very
big
busy,
day,
so
yeah.
we can't.
So are you.
This is going to be a bit of a short one today.
I have heard that one a lot.
Hey, another
bang,
dick
bang,
joke.
bang. Yeah.
Half your luck. There we go. Hey, mate, so look, usually on this podcast what we do is we just jam. We've just gone back to our roots these days and people are loving it. Thank you so much for the feedback.
Yes.
Appreciate seeing you guys in our Discord, discord.gameonoz.com and across our social media, and the DMs we're receiving are wonderful, and thank you very much for the inboxes and all of that. Special hello to our GOA Legends Club members. $11 a month, $1 of that goes to charity, our charity partners, and they are getting great things. We've got a very special announcement as to us bringing on a brand new value partner for our members. So I can't reveal yet.
Well, and there's more stuff from us coming too, isn't there?
There is more stuff from us.
There's stuff in the pipeline, so to speak.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's all sorts. So if you go to gameonoz.com, you'll see it there. It's on the homepage. You can
just
join
become a legend.
Become a legend.
Become a legend. Easy.
Hey, Dan, a bit of news that's popped up. Do you remember Apogee Entertainment?
Yes, I do.
What do you remember from Apogee?
I just remember the name. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think because Apogee is quite a strange name.
So Apogee, I'm going to show you the logo. And does that ring a bell?
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. I thought the logo was pretty distinctive too.
So, the big sharp A on the left, the podgy, and then underneath it looks like a comet with a star on the right-hand side. Excuse me, the blues and the reds and stuff like that. So, it's very, very exciting, and I saw the Historian, one of our great writers, in fact, our chief editor.
All surrounded in maple teak, drinking whiskey in hand.
Yep.
Wearing a Hugh Hefner type dressing gown.
Corncob pipe to the right of him. Slowly smoking away.
A gentle fire just burning in the distance, even though it's still not quite fire weather here in Perth yet.
Yep. And his slippers are
amazing.
Amazing.
Warm, rich voice.
Oh, mate, it's like mahogany. And he sort of, I saw this first through him as obviously he's the Historian. And he's very excited about it, but it's created a buzz in our Discord right now, Dan. I can tell you, a real buzz.
Well, were they a mid-90s company?
No, God, far back.
Really?
Early to mid-90s.
Yeah, because I really feel like
when they were a massive name in the early to mid-90s thanks to their titles.
Yeah. So give me some titles.
All right, so I'm going to give you. I'm going to work our way up to the popular ones.
Okay, yeah. Why are we talking about them? Are they back?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Biomenace?
Yep.
Anything?
No.
Crystal Caves?
No.
Blake Stone?
No.
Death Rally?
No.
Okay.
Oh, Death Rally, yeah.
All right, here we go. Some of the more, you'll probably remember these. Wacky Wheels?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Commander Keen?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No,
we've talked about that before on the podcast.
No, we have, because I don't think you played it.
I didn't know.
Whereas for me, Commander Keen
and that's what I'm saying. I think for guys your age, around your age, you're 10 years younger than me. Ish. I'm a bit older than that.
Ish.
Yeah, this is right in your wheelhouse.
How old are you?
I'm 48 this year.
Bullshit!
I'm 48 this year. I'm an old bastard, I'm telling you.
13 years old.
Yeah, 30. I told you ish.
We won't talk about that.
Told you ish.
Talk about that.
Hey guys, I'm still gaming though.
You are
the dream is real, guys.
You're a bloody legend. You're forging a path.
Keeps
for
me
all
young.
of us. I'll get a little bit more famous. Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Now, in fact, Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah.
This is probably top of the wazza.
Mm-hmm.
Duke Nukem 3D.
Yes. Loved that game.
Now,
they
game. Have revealed that they are making a comeback indeed.
What?
Yes, the indie publisher is making a comeback. Isn't it interesting to hear those names, which are household names, here we are 30 odd years down the track, as coming out of an indie developer. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That's exactly right. And I think there's more power for them now to become so, like back, it's a bit like music, 30 years ago, you sort of had to really rely on the big record companies to get you anywhere. Whereas these days, musicians have it within themselves, their own tools to send their message out. So they don't need to rely on the big, they can record it at home as good as the studio, So I think this is a similar thing.
Well, I mean, clearly, given the flurry that it's created online with blokes around about sort of our age, clearly Apogee Entertainment, the name still holds weight.
Well,
yeah,
it reminds me. So the big one in my era was Cinemaware, which we've talked about before. Cinemaware were absolute leaders in their craft in the mid to late 80s. And I know they made a comeback it was probably about 10 years ago, actually, and they did some stuff. So there was a great game called Defender of the Crown, which I played on the Commodore 64.
I reckon you mentioned Defender of the Crown once
Probably once a podcast.
I reckon
it's
you
somewhere
do.
along there.
Yep.
Anyway, they tried to do the same thing on the iPad, and it was a bit of a flop because it was a bit of a point-and-click game, but it just didn't quite have the magic. But just that name, I actually think they from memory, they either started a GoFundMe or they went on the stock exchange to try and get funds.
What were the names of them again?
Cinemaware was the name of the company, so all one word. They did great games. They did the Three Stooges. It came from the desert. TV sports, football and basketball. Defender of the Crown.
Cinemaware or Cineware?
Cinemaware.
Cinemaware. Yeah, no, I don't. It doesn't. Oh, I don't have that. Hang on. Cinemaware Kickstarter campaign.
Kickstarter.
There you go.
Yeah.
This was 2012.
Yeah. So it was about
for
10 years.
Wings
That's right.
Director's
Wings.
Cut. Yep.
Wings was the greatest game I ever played in the Amiga 500. A fucking ripper of a game.
Yeah, and didn't you? I think I remember you talking about this in a previous podcast. You went back and had a look at it and went, "This is a bucket of shit."
No.
Which obviously time
it needed. Yeah, well, I mean, this is 1990 or 91, so it definitely needed some work. The point being is that I think there's real merit for a lot of these companies that had a big name and heritage with gamers like of my era and your era, our ilk. That it's probably worth getting the band back together.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term.
Well, look, and I think like a lot of this is obviously the fact that a lot of these franchises have moved on to other companies now, in terms of who they're owned by and stuff like that, right? But, they did actually, in this showcase that they revealed, which only went for 4 and a bit minutes, but was really cool. It was voiced by actor John St. John, who voice acted Duke Nukem.
Oh,
so hearing him say "piece of cake" and all that sort of stuff, shake it, baby.
Did he still sound the same? Because
Yes.
you know how like James Earl Jones voiced Darth Vader in the last
Yep.
or the prequel, sorry.
Yep.
And he just sounded a bit older. I reckon.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and obviously, this bloke. I mean, John St. John is much older now.
Like Elton John. Elton John doesn't sing the high bits anymore.
Yeah.
So when
right.
he was a young lad, he could sing them a bit like me, actually. I couldn't hit those high notes to save myself today. Yet, 10 years ago, I probably could have.
Yeah. Well, let me see if I can find just a quick... Bring your microphone here.
Surprises. Check this out.
I'll see if I can just really quickly find... This is some other shit.
While we aren't... I don't know about you guys, but I told you I was excited, right? And how about those remasters? Talk about a blast from the past with a shiny new coat of fun. Now, while we aren't quite ready to reveal the titles of these projects yet, you can look
It's such an American voiceover, isn't it?
Be sure to follow us on
really
Twitter
is.
and join our official Discord gaming. Apogee.
There's one thing in
How did
particular I want
id
to find.
Software Apogee? How did Remedy get their start? Apogee. How did 3D Realms get their start? It was Apogee all along. Apogee pioneered shareware and the distribution of games on the internet. But, of course, what you care about are the games themselves, right? And this is where Apogee struck gold time and time again. So, grab yourself some gum and start chewing while we take a look
Did
back.
you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? You can hear a bit of Duke Nukem in
Yeah,
his
yeah.
voice,
Start
right?
chewing.
Start chewing.
Yes.
So, yes, it's very, very cool. But the thing, I was a little bit disappointed because they did reveal what looked to be remasters of Cosmos Cosmic Adventure, some Raptor gameplay, some games with zombie elements were in there as well. A survival platformer called Residual is on its way, and obviously, this is going to be great. So, good on them. But I was hoping to see some things like maybe, we'll see a Wacky Wheels. Maybe we'll see... And, of course, Wolfenstein has moved on now.
Yeah.
And it's moved on to a different developer and stuff like that. But maybe we'll see some Duke Nukem. But, because I don't know about you, but I would cautiously welcome an announcement around a new Duke Nukem game. I would cautiously welcome it. And let me explain to you why.
Yeah, okay.
Because 2011 is the last time we got a Duke Nukem game.
Yep.
It was Duke Nukem
So
Forever.
that's 10 years ago.
10 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And it was shit. I'm not going to lie. It was terrible.
Hey, don't sugarcoat it, okay?
No. Like, I don't know. I can't even remember. I played it that long ago. I can't even remember why it was really terrible, to be completely honest with you. But I played it on the PlayStation 3, and it didn't get rave reviews, like 50% on Metacritic, 6 out of 10 on Steam. So, you know, it was widely shared that it wasn't a great game. The one that I still go back to, for me, is Duke Nukem 64, which, of course, was the port for Duke Nukem 3D back in 96, 97. Right? Now, what's really interesting is to go back and actually have a look at the scores. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10, 73% on Metacritic. Google uses it at 93% as well. A time when, I mean, realistically, we weren't even using Google.
No, we weren't.
Right?
It wasn't even around, I think.
But I went a little bit further, and I actually had a look at because the review for IGN's still up there.
Oh, yeah.
15th of November, 1997.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Duke Nukem 64, and I'll just get down to the verdict, right? And I just want to read this out loud for people who just want to go, all right, does this make sense in 2021?
24 years later. Yeah.
But it says Duke 64 may be late. GoldenEye beats it in everything but speed.
Okay.
But it still retains the incredible level design and great weapons and item selection of the original. Eurocom did a great job with the 3D engine. The one-player mode is fantastic, and the polygonal weapon effects, one-player mode only, are a sight to behold. Have a listen to that. The polygonal weapon effects are a sight to behold. Now, I went back and played Duke 64 a little while ago.
Did you?
Yeah, and look, it's not 2021, and I was looking at it with the sheen of I played this game and loved this game. But obviously, you know, just looking at that and firing guns and knowing that that was the best that we had at the time. Yeah. That was peak content. That's what we took as 10 out of 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God, how good are these graphics type things?
Amazing. Duke Nukem 64 is definitely a better and much more intense shooter than Hexen and Doom 64. And currently the best N64 game with a 2-player co-op mode. If you don't already own the PC or Saturn version of Duke, do yourself a favour and get it, a solid and fast conversion of an awesome PC title.
Wow.
And I, like I said, went back and played it a little while ago, and just even things like, you know, the enemies that you're playing against, because it was all polygonal, and it was to a degree, yes, it was 3D, but it was also very much 2D, right? Like when you're looking at an enemy, you're looking at the front of him. You know, and if you sort of went to walk around him, the way that the image pivots is that it's an image that's pivoting with your field of view. You're not walking around to the actual animal, seeing the right-hand side of it, behind it. You know, when you wanted to see behind it, the game would flip the picture, essentially. You know what I mean? It was a blast from the past for me to go back and have a look at that game and go, this is peak content that we grew up with, and it was the top stuff at its time. But there was one other thing that I wanted to mention, and and that is that am I right in looking at that game? Because I still, like, when I played that game, I actually still really enjoyed playing it.
Oh, right? So recently?
Recently. I did it recently.
Yeah.
I actually still really enjoyed playing it. And I don't know if it's because the gameplay and the game is that good that it still holds up to this day, or I'm looking at it through rose-coloured glasses of a kid in Year 7 who's playing Duke Nukem 64 for the first time.
Well, I suspect and fear it's probably a bit more of the rose-coloured glasses. I can only use my recent example that we talked about a couple of podcasts ago about me playing some 15-year-old kids at GoldenEye, and I schooled them. But I think they were just so shocked about how bad it was. Right? Yeah, that we played a game in the temple with remote mines, and I actually admit this: you couldn't tell what was a bullet hole and what was a remote mine.
Yeah, right.
So that was their complaint. You know, also the fact they walked into a room that I'd stacked remote mines and boom, bye bye. Right. The point being is that I feel like there's a part of that's why we love retro so much as gamers, right? Because it brings back really great memories. And for a lot of people, gaming's more than just gaming. It's not like watching TV. There's moments in our life where we turn to gaming to pull us out of, it might be like, I think in your case, you've said this, you sometimes had a shit time at school with some bullies and stuff, and you'd escape to your gaming where you could be free of all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Same with me. I had the same thing.
I can be the hero.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. So, I think there's a deeper connection between gamers and the art of gaming as opposed to someone who might see a movie they love,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so-
I wholeheartedly agree.
So I think it's the rose-colored glasses, a short answer to that question.
Although I will say this, Banjo-Kazooie, which I've mentioned, is
I
still a
reckon
fucking great game.
I reckon that's the one game
It's still a great game.
that you could give to a kid now of the right age, and they'd froth it.
And I feel like I can say that I can feel like I can say that in a way where I can discern whether or not my heart's still there. You know what I mean? Like, and whether my heart's covering my head. And the reason being is because I told you this a while back, I played GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And was like, this is shit. You know what I mean? Whereas I loved GoldenEye as a kid.
But we did run that article a couple of weeks ago at the GOA website. I wrote it about, and the historian alerted me to it, about the remake was that close to being finished and they fell out.
Yeah.
And I watched it in game mode. I was like, oh my God. Like, it was, all it needs a polish and a refinement of the controls. Because remember the whole yellow D-pad on the Nintendo 64?
Yes, yeah,
with the 4 separate buttons. That was a bit
Yeah,
weird.
the
Now, I was a
arrow
master at that. That was my secret to the game.
Well, that's all you
So
had at the time, wasn't it?
You point up a little bit just to get the headshot and boom, bye. Like the RCP-90, mate. Do not meet me anywhere with an RCP-90 because I guarantee you that you will not survive.
Yeah, all right.
Even with body armor. The point being is that that's all it needs. The game itself. But then again, we've talked about this ad nauseum. Is it that just one part of the magic of the game? It might, I think it's a whole bunch of components to make a game what it is. It's the time. It's what's out there, what's trending.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of GoldenEye, we were starved and we needed a first-person shooter.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
You know what I mean? So, there's a whole bunch of immeasurables, I guess, or intangibles that I think combine to make something the magical thing that it is.
The magical
And
thing.
gaming, bloody gaming, Pete.
Mate, bloody gaming,
is bloody
mate.
magical, mate.
Yep. Mate, I know you've got to wrap things up pretty quickly, so I'm going to move on because we've got to at least answer a couple of questions.
Oh, we've certainly
from our
do.
GOA
I
Legends
appreciate
Club
that. Thank
members.
you. Yes. It's been a prick of a day.
I got you, boo.
Thanks, brother.
So here's one from Blue Streak. Now, GOA Legends Club members, the guys who pay their $11 a month,
they get to ask questions.
They get asked questions in the podcast, so thank you so much. But Blue Streak, bloody legend, bumped into him on the weekend actually.
Oh,
over
the
at
Toy
Nexus
Fair.
Fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, how was? Just give us a quick rundown of that because that looked your little social tile that you put up.
Yeah.
And I saw straight in there.
Yeah.
Was it blue? The other
Straight Jacket Jim and
and
Blue
blue,
Streak.
right?
Yeah, and my daughter
and you
Izzy,
had
who
your,
looked
and you
like
had your little.
she wasn't happy.
You had your little wrestling.
Yeah, I had the Rock. I found a corporate Rock.
Yeah.
Still in its blister packaging. WWF 1999.
So
WWF, not EF.
To that to me was happiness in a picture.
And I was very happy, and we were all very happy.
Apart from Mila, Mila didn't look that happy.
Izzy.
Oh, yes, it was Izzy.
She
Yeah.
did not look happy. Mate, you're forgiven because they look alike. But it was a great day. It was awesome to walk around and meet vendors and stalls and all that sort of stuff. And what I really enjoyed seeing the most, aside from all of the collectibles and stuff that were there, and I spent close to $2,500-$3,000 in my head. In my head, Dan, in my head.
I just almost fell off my chair there.
Oh, can you imagine if I came home with
a heavily pregnant wife?
Oh, my God, no.
Darling, I've just spent $3,000.
Right.
Oh, what, a baby stuff? No.
But one cool thing was there were a few vendors there who were making their own stuff. So embroidered stuff, embroidered towels, and this, that, and the other. But one in particular, I can't remember the name, so my apologies. But 3D printing his own toy range. Yeah, so really, I think it's
Holy
Cube Boy.
shit.
I think it might be Cube
Yeah,
Cube
right.
Boy or Cubey. But I'll double check
That's
that.
great.
But, really cool. Very, very cool. So Blue Streak. Here's a question. One celebrity you would want to play couch co-op with, and what game would it be?
What a wonderful question.
It's a great question.
Tell you
Great
what,
question.
Blue's guilty of this, isn't he? Of asking very good questions.
Very good questions.
because-
I feel like there was one that we said we'd come back and answer the following week.
Oh, it probably
Anyway, move on.
Sorry.
Sorry, mate.
Okay. This is a question without notice. One person I would love to play couch co-op with.
Well, I can answer this
Yep.
quite easily, and I've got a good reason.
I've got
why.
someone too.
But I probably should answer this question twice.
Okay.
Right, and I'll explain why. Because he's not really celebrity, but I guess in our eyes he is. His name is George Broussard, and he's an American video game producer and designer. He's one of the producers behind Duke Nukem 3D.
Ah.
And what would be amazing would be to sit there with him and play through Duke Nukem 3D and get his stories of building the game along the way. Because the recent versions of Duke Nukem 3D that you can get actually come with in-game commentary. So there's little like icons throughout the game as you're playing it, and you can click on the icons, and it's the guys talking about creating those moments in the game.
Right.
And it's incredibly interesting.
Be like your own living bonus track on it. Remember the bonus tracks and DVDs when
Absolutely.
the director's cut, they go, this is the moment where it'd be awesome.
Yeah, so that, I mean, like, he's not celebrity, but in our eyes he is, and I just think it would be so
that would be
bloody
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've
got
one?
two.
You got two?
And
Okay,
they're brief
all right.
though. One would be Jay from The In-Betweeners. I can't think of his actor name, but he's Jay. He's the
I know, yeah, okay.
the soccer fan, the soccer hooligan dude in The In-Betweeners. The reason
James
being,
Buckley.
James Buckley, thank you. And he's also in White Gold. I would love to couch co-op with him because the couch co-op game would be Pro Evo Soccer, which I know he loves.
Yep.
And I'd imagine the banter would be hilarious.
The banter would be fantastic.
So that'd be great.
Yeah.
The other one is Charles Martinet himself. You imagine playing Mario Kart with Charles Martinet,
Yeah.
and then let's go, and he does it, and then you're like, holy shit, he just did it. The voice of Mario.
Yeah, no, that's a very cool idea.
Yeah.
I suppose if we're talking celebrity, this was my second answer. God, Charles Martinet in Super Mario. It's just made me think of and we.
He'd probably
mentioned
be pretty
this
shit at it, I reckon.
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe not.
But it's his bloody voice. He can be whatever he wants in the damn game. John Leguizamo and playing Mario Brothers. Because
you could look a bit like Mario.
I could.
Yeah, you pull off a good Mario. Actually,
Thanks,
I've
mate.
seen you
A bit
as
of a
Mario.
moustache and
Yes.
everything. Because we could sit on the couch together and we'd be playing Mario Brothers, and I'm sure it would spark up memories of him filming the original Mario Brothers movie.
Well, and then you get some of those insights too.
Yes.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Yeah. Because I think if I'm sitting there next to someone, I actually don't want to play someone like just for the sake of playing someone. You know what I mean? Like I want to hear cool stories and have great chat.
I'll tell you what.
What?
I just had an idea.
What?
A remake of that movie with John Leguizamo as Luigi, Pete Corelli as Mario.
It's a great idea.
That is a bloody great idea, mate. That's another one. Put that in the books.
Put that in the books. Something we'll never make happen because that's what we do. We have great ideas. We don't execute it.
Actually, you know what? Without notice, can we make that question that Blue asked our big the bomb question? It's the bloody big.
Yes, we can.
I reckon that's an absolute ripper. So thanks, Blue.
Thank you
put
very
that up on
much.
social. Everyone
Blue.
can then contribute to their what they were. I'd imagine there'd be a few people. I'll guiltily did think, well, maybe in my day it would have been Elle Macpherson having a bit of Diet Coke, playing some bit of Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure Suit Larry. Hello.
Can't really couch co-op that game, but anyway.
Mate, I want one other quick one because I know we are running out of time. I'm sorry.
That's all. No, it's all good, bro.
This one comes from Bored Aussie Dad. Now there are so many questions in here that actually are about esports. Funnily enough, in the local market, I'm actually going to take those questions at some point. I'm going to do another separate podcast.
A deep dive.
I'll do a deep dive on that.
I love
stuff.
that.
Bored Aussie Dad says, do you think there is a social stigma attached to the term gamer? And I can answer this straight off the bat. Yes, I do, but I don't think it matters anymore.
I agree, and I actually say I think it's still there, but it's very much diminished from when it was when I was a kid gaming, if that makes sense.
Well, I
that
feel,
whole nerd thing, I think's really disappeared.
Yeah, well, I think it's flipped on its head. Like, I think we're at a stage now where there's that many of us, and it's such a proud thing, and we feel so much pride in it, that we've risen up against it and have twisted the meaning of the word ourselves and no longer give a shit about, like, the mainstream media sort of, or mainstream, not acknowledging... I mean, the thing is, we know how bloody good it is, and we're at the stage now where we just don't care.
I'd actually almost counter and say I'm a bit pissed off that it's sort of gone a bit, because I used to be a bit uppity about the fact that I knew how bloody good gaming was, but other people didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like a little secret club.
Yeah, and I sort of feel like that
yeah.
club's been, someone's broken the code and told someone else about it.
Yep.
Now everybody knows about it. What I will say is that it's funny how the social stigma, you think about that term, gaming's probably the most social thing you can do, especially if you're gaming online.
Yep, 100%.
I quite
Certainly these days, yeah.
often talk to a few of my gaming friends like Ronald P. Corbett. Ding! Probably 3 times a week. And actually, I saw him physically for the first time in, I reckon, 5 years, about 2 weeks ago. And we both went, oh, this is awkward, because we just speak to each other like 4 times a week, but always over the chat, never actually face to face,
Yep.
So, again, the short answer to that question is I think it's still there, but I think a lot of people now, it's probably that I've gone the other way. I think there's more people gaming than not.
There we go. Couple of questions. And like I said, plenty other questions in there. Sorry we can't get to all of them, but most of these questions are actually around sort of esports and streaming and stuff. So
a deep dive would be good.
Deep dive would be good.
Special app.
I'll get cracking. Dan, that's it. We've got to get out of here. In fact, get over there.
Okay, bye.
Actually, that's one of the funniest memes that I've ever seen around
What's
COVID.
that?
And that is Scorpion. And it's him looking to the left like that. And it's COVID at the top here, and down the bottom it's like, stay over there. So that's it. Come back in a shot, for Christ's sake. That's a podcast. We're done. We're out of here. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend in gaming. And as we always say,
don't forget to bloody save your legends.
And don't forget to go and see the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yes.